So, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard the reports by now that Donald Trump was out golfing today, earlier today, I guess. And there were allegedly some gunshots that went off, right? Allegedly. And the only reason why I say allegedly, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it seems like the news, when it first happened, it seemed, well, first of all, most of the media outlets wasn't even covering it. I don't know if y'all noticed that or not. Most of the media outlets weren't even covering it. Fox News was covering it. Sky News was covering it. The BBC was covering it. Pretty much any media outlet that is right-leaning or outside of the country was actually covering it. Everybody else wasn't really covering it, right? In fact, when I went to go look it up, let me show y'all something real quick. When I went to go look it up, this is what came up, right? So you got Live Now from Fox covering it. You got the BBC covering it. Let's see, you got USA Today said police presence outside Trump's golf course after multiple shots fired nearby. So USA Today is saying, oh, well, these were shots that were fired nearby, right? Then you have, my bad, hold on. Shout out to Black Moses for being a sponsor. I appreciate you, broski. Let me get you on the board up here.
$50 boss up. Stack up and match up.
So you got USA Today saying, oh, police presence outside of Trump's golf course after multiple shots fired nearby, right? Then you got Fox saying shooting near Trump's Mar-a-Lago, suspect apprehended, right? And you got Fox, Donald Trump safe, awaiting press conference, right? But when you keep scrolling down, when you finally get to, where is ABC? When you finally get to CNN, FBI investigated apparent assassination attempt of Trump in Florida. ABC News, Trump safe after second apparent assassination attempt. But check this out. This is Fox News earlier, right? Let's check this out real quick.
Well, this is a Fox News alert. Former President Trump is safe after gunshots were reported while he was golfing at his club in West Palm Beach at the Trump International Golf Course, not Mar-a-Lago.
After gunshots, right?
The former president is fine, his campaign says. Those shots were fired in the vicinity of the golf course. We're now waiting for an update from the Secret Service and police about all this. Hello and welcome to Fox News Live. I'm Eric Shawn.
And I'm Marthel Neville. So the Trump campaign did not specify where those shots may have been fired. And this, of course, is coming 2 months after the former president was shot at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. And we do have Sean Hannity. Sean is going to join us live right now from your home studio. Sean, unfortunately, we're talking about this very subject.
Now, even with Fox News, that's why whenever people say Fox News is biased, I'll be like, yeah, right. Look at what it says right there. Trump campaign, shots fired in Trump's vicinity. Right? I'm noticing this downplaying of this. Like, this is not a former sitting president and currently a presidential candidate. Right? Now let's be honest about this. You guys, let's be totally honest about this. If this was any other presidential candidate, or any other former sitting president, this would be all over the news. This would be all over the news and everybody would be taking it seriously.
Subject today, unfortunately, but what do you know? Have you spoken to the former president?
I've spoken to the president and I spoke to his golf partner.
And here's the other thing that I don't know if y'all noticed or not, right? Once you get the title of president, you always have that title. The same way you continue to have a Secret Service detail for the rest of your life. Do y'all realize that Trump is the first president that they insist on referring to as former President Trump? Go back and look at old news clips. Once a president is out of office, they still say President Obama. They still say President Bush. They still say, I've rarely heard them say former president in reference to a president that's no longer in office. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I remember it every time I've heard them say it, because I took note of it like, damn, they still calling him president even though he ain't in office no more.
Steve Witkoff, a well-known developer, businessman in Miami in the Palm Beach area.
And with Bush, they took it a step further. They either would call George Bush Jr., they would either call him President Bush or they would call him Mr. Bush. They would either call him President Bush or Mr. Bush. With Trump, it's former President Trump or it's Trump. You never heard them say Mr. Trump.
Yeah. So I got a lot of details. I'm very aware of the New York Post report that said that it was, well, outside of what's called Trump International in West Palm Beach, which is where I am. And anyway, so long story short is President Trump, they were on the fifth hole. They were about to go up to putt. And the way Steve Witkoff, now, just as a little bit of background, Arthel, I happened to go to breakfast with Steve Witkoff and another friend of mine this morning. And I was invited to play golf. They happen to be really good golfers. I don't have a lot of time to play golf, so I said thank you, but I'm not going to go out on the golf course and get killed out there. But long story short, so they were playing, they were on the fifth hole.
That was a poor choice of words, Sean Hannity. Now, I'm not going to go out on the golf course and get killed out there. I get what you were saying. You meant you didn't want to go out there and get beat by everybody playing golf, but that was a really poor choice of words, especially for a guy that's a seasoned news veteran.
And the way Steve described this, the way the president described it, they both had exactly the same story, which was that they heard pop, 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 pop. And Steve went into great specificity and great detail as to what happened right after. Within seconds, the Secret Service pounced on the president, covered him. You had snipers with tripods. They knew the direction where the shots had been fired, and they had eyes on the location where the shots had been fired. And long story short, they were. I have confirmed with both the president and with Mr. Witkoff that the gun has been found. They identified it as an AK-47, and thanks to Secret Service drone video coverage, they were able to identify one individual involved in this shooting getting into a car after dropping the AK-47. And my understanding, according to both of them,
shout out to Black Moses for the membership,
is that that car has been identified, and I believe it's been surrounded. Whether or not that person has been apprehended or not, I don't know. This happened in a matter of seconds. A little more color, a little bit more details on this is that when they got on top of the president, immediately what is called a fast cart that I believe has steel reinforcement and protection was able to whisk the president away. And then the Secret Service immediately sprung into action. They had eyes on where the shooting had occurred. I saw the New York Post report that these were two people shooting at each other outside the course. I do know, and they did confirm that the shots were out.
So initially they're saying these are two people outside of the course shooting at one another. So there just happens to be two guys outside of a golf course shooting at each other. It is amazing to me how unserious they're taking this. It is amazing to me, bruh.
Side of the course, but certainly seemingly within range of the former president. So we don't have any details on any of that. They don't know that part. I only know the part of what they experienced while they were playing golf at Trump International in West Palm. Thankfully, the president is safe. Steve Witkoff is safe. The Secret Service apparently acted with incredible speed and professionalism. And but certainly alarming in every way imaginable in light of what happened in Butler, as you mentioned.
Yeah, of course, this is very alarming. And Sean, have you spoken to the former president or texted with him?
I have spoken with the president 3 times since this incident, and each time I got a new piece of information. One, that they had found, first of all, what happened with the shooting. The second thing, that they had found an AK-47. Third, right, that their drone footage was able to give them enough surveillance to identify the exact car that the individual involved in this shooting got into. And further detail that they gave me was that they were updated and told that that car had been found, identified, was surrounded by law enforcement. I don't know what happened from there. It could not have been too far away. I would say the time frame was less than a half hour between the time that the shooting actually took place and they identified the car. So
I'm trying to find out, like, how is he doing? That's what we want to know. How is he doing, if you spoke to him?
Well, you really want to know the truth, Arthel? He goes, well, there's more details, because I did hear, and Steve Witkoff was very clear. The first thing the president did when he got back to the clubhouse was make sure that everybody else was okay. He didn't see his golf partner with him. Where's Steve? Where's Steve? Where's Steve? And then Steve says, I'm right here. He got in maybe a few minutes behind the president. The Secret Service was able to get everybody to safety. Everybody else was taken off the golf course. Then when the president found out everybody was safe and nobody had been harmed, I guess in typical fight fashion, Trump said to Steve, and then he related to me, I really wanted to finish the hole. I was even, and I had a birdie putt.
Shout out to the lowly one. He said, remember that scene in Winter Soldier when Zoya explained how people were dealt with when history did not cooperate? Art imitates life.
And it was on the fifth. It was on the 5th hole, which shows a lot of, I think, guts and gumption, and very Trumpian, I guess, in every way. But the good news we can report is that in spite of this being in such close proximity to the president and others and the Secret Service, that they were not harmed, and that they are in safety. And I know the investigation will go forward. Probably more details, I would imagine, as time unfolds.
Sean, for those who don't know that area, the Trump International Golf Course, West Palm Beach, across the causeway from Mar-a-Lago. I mean, it's in a residential neighborhood. You've got, Burger Kings and convenience stores all around. Any word do we know from police? Was this gang-related shooting, two gunmen shooting at each other's? And
was it gang-related? Yeah, cause gangs actually throw up their sets and get into shootouts outside of golf courses. I swear to the Almighty, I am so tired of the legacy media. I'm tired of all of them, bruh. I'm sick of them. They've been gaslighting, bro. This last election cycle, they have been gaslighting the public. They are literally on every news outlet that you could think of, pretending like Trump is a lunatic for saying they're out here eating the pets. Like they're treating him like a lunatic. And they're telling us that it's not going on, even though we're seeing countless videos. See, here's the problem, legacy media. I don't think y'all understand the age that you live in. Okay? Everybody has a camera. Everybody. I've seen countless videos on TikTok showing proof of all of that. Which brings up another very important question. Is this why a ban on TikTok was so important? Is this why?
You've got to hand it to the Secret Service to have it drawn up and to be able to identify this, so quickly.
Right. There was only one credible news report that I saw, and it was a part of News Corp, which runs the Fox News channel, came from the New York Post, that they believed the shooting was between two people outside of the golf course. But there's not a lot of details to that as of this moment. Now, I would assume we're going to get more information from the Secret Service. I know that there were at least 30 to 50 sheriff and West Palm Beach police there. They responded immediately.
Focus said TikTok puts all 3-letter agencies to shame. Oh, man, the TikTok detectives, they on point, bro. The TikTok detectives, bro, they will find somebody in a matter of hours, fam.
I happened to be driving in and around the area. I drove past Mar-a-Lago to see what was going on. There was a heavy police presence.
Shout out to Black Moses.
Since the shooting in Butler, that had been a very common scene, but not like this. It was more active than usual. But the fact that everybody's okay and 4 shots were fired, it's honestly, it's disheartening on one level, it's sad on another level, and it's scary on a level that, somebody with an AK-47 can be that close to the president or former president and top presidential candidate and, just 50 days before an election.
Yeah, Sean, you're right. It's very disturbing. Everybody's nerves are on edge. And as you just told us, the president, former president, his true fashion, that he has, kind of sucked it up and just said, look, I'm okay. My people are okay. And I wish I had finished my golf round there. But it is a very tense time. And we don't know exactly right now if, in fact, this was something that was directed at the president or this was something happening separate from him, but it definitely was too close for comfort, given what happened on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I think, Arthel, you're raising a really good question, and we'll find out. And I never like to rush to judgment, and it has served me very well in my career. And I think that's why we got Ferguson, Missouri, right, and Duke Lacrosse, and UVA, and Freddie Gray in Baltimore. And early in my career, when the Atlanta Journal-Constitution said that Richard Jewell fit the profile of the lone bomber because he lived with his mother. I was on the air at the time. I didn't know that Richard Jewell was even listening to my show. I found out later. And I said, just because he lives with his mother does not fit the profile of somebody that would be involved in a bombing. So when situations like this do unfold, I think the important thing to do is wait for the details to come in. The good news that we can tell you, I can add one little piece to the equation. is that the president got home very late last night. He had a rally, I believe it was in Salt Lake. He flew in, maybe got to Palm Beach around 2:30 in the morning. And when I went to breakfast that was planned with Steve Witkoff and another friend of ours, and when I went to breakfast with them this morning, we went to our favorite diner, and it's called City Diner, by the way. We went there, and the president had written him when he got back, any chance you want to play golf tomorrow, because he had a scheduled lunch with the president. I was not a part of that. So long story short is that, you know, as of now, we know everybody's okay, but we've got to understand what the perimeter is, in my view, Arthel, which is what you were saying. You know, in other words, I would say we define a perimeter for any elected official, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, I don't care, that it's got to be within any distance of any long, high-powered rifle. That's got to be considered the perimeter going forward. We saw the Democratic senator this week telling America they're going to be shocked and appalled at what we learn about the Butler shooting, and we'll have an interim report coming out maybe this week or next week. And those words are chilling. That's Senator Blumenthal that made those comments. So long story short, I think there's a lot more that we have to find out. I'd like to hear from the Secret Service. I'd like to hear from law enforcement. I feel like a lot of information in the Butler shooting was very slow in coming forward.
Well, let's hear what law enforcement had to say. You feel me? Matter of fact, if you're just coming in here, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the Cash App and support the show. We need 10 people to hit the Cash App and support the show. Let's see.
So there has.
Let's get the. Let's get to the what the FBI had to say.
What anybody had originally thought. So originally, Secret Service, all the authorities, they intervened by someone who was standing outside the golf course, Trump International Golf Course, where Donald Trump had been playing golf today. They thought someone was behaving suspiciously. Well, if this is true, then it certainly feels like they did the right thing. Okay, the press conference is underway. Let's take it.
Say we have a representative from the FBI, from the Secret Service, from the State Attorney's Office. We are going to give you everything we have. Everything. All right? So when we get done, think about your questions, because we're not going to take a lot. And keep them to the information that you heard. Don't get into what ifs, and because of this, we're not going to go there. All right? So keep that in mind.
I'm going to go there. Once we hear what you have to say, I'm going to go there.
And we'll be good. So here we go. All right, 1:30 this afternoon. Call came out, shots fired. That was called in by the Secret Service. Because we're in constant contact with them all the time, we were notified of that, and we had units here that immediately sealed off the area. Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great.
Pause. So already off the rip, if you listen to the news report that came out of Fox, they said, oh, there was a drone that was able to take a picture of the car, and that's how they were able to find the car. The FBI just said that there was a witness that saw somebody acting suspiciously, saw what they did, and snapped a picture of the car and the license plate. So where did this drone story come from? Who came up with the drone concept? Did somebody just make it up out of thin air?
So We had that information. Our real-time crime center put it out to the license plate readers. And we were able to get a hit on that vehicle on I-95 as it was headed into Martin County. We got a hold of Martin County Sheriff's Office, alerted them, and they spotted the vehicle and pulled it over and detained the guy. After that, we took the the witness that witnessed the incident, flew him up there, and he identified as the person that he saw running out of the bushes and jumped into the car. Now, in the bushes where this guy was is a AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of. So those are being processed right now. The Secret Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job. What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual.
So, this is law enforcement saying that basically they have the Secret Service go ahead. So when you're golfing, you go from hole to hole, right? So they had the Secret Service agents with Donald Trump. They always go ahead of him to the next hole. So if they weren't on that type of time, you feel me? So they went ahead and they saw the barrel sticking through the damn fence. So this is not gangbangers outside of the freaking golf course going at it with each other. This is not 2 guys that decided to get into a shootout over road rage. No.
At which time the individual took off. So that's what we know about the investigation. We have somebody in custody right now that is a potential suspect. We got a little bit more work to do on it, but as we usually do, as soon as we decide that we're going to book him into the county jail and the charges that he's going to be booked into, we'll get those to you and we'll get a picture of him and we'll get you his background. So now I'm going to turn it over to the representative of the Secret Service, and he's going to make a brief statement.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I first want to thank all of our law enforcement partners, to include the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office and the Martin County Sheriff's Office, for their involvement today. Former President Donald Trump is safe and unharmed following a protective incident shortly before 2 p.m. on Sunday at Trump International Golf Club at West Palm Beach. The U.S. Secret Service personnel opened fire on a gunman located near the property line, and this matter is under investigation. I'll turn it over to my partners over at the FBI.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Veltri. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI's Miami field office. The FBI has assumed the role as the lead federal law enforcement agency in the investigation of the incident that occurred earlier today at Trump International Golf Course here in West Palm Beach, Florida. We've deployed a number of resources, including the investigative teams, crisis response team members, bomb technicians, and evidence response team members as well. What we need right now is for the public to avoid the area around the golf course. We will continue to support this investigation with the full resources of the FBI, alongside our partners with the United States Secret Service and the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, as well as Martin County Sheriff's Office and state and local law enforcement. I would ask that if anyone has any information that may assist with this investigation, to contact our tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI or at tips, that's tips.fbi.gov. Thank you.
David?
Hi, I'm Dave Ehrenberg, State Attorney for Palm Beach County. I want to thank Sheriff Bradshaw and our partners at the local, state, and federal levels. I'm here because our prosecutors are currently working up warrants and a motion for pretrial detention for the suspect. In that way, he will be kept in custody. But our filing of these warrants and charges at the state level does not preclude federal charges that could be coming. But in the meantime, it looks like the warrants and the pretrial detention motion will happen first. And again, I want to thank the cooperation we've had with our federal partners and at the local level. And thank you all for being here today.
Okay, we're going to make these pictures available to you. It'll show you a picture of the backpack and the rifle. And there's also a GoPro on the fence there where he was intent on filming what was going on. Even though we're going to have to secure a couple of areas around the golf course here, the public doesn't need to panic. We know that we got a post office, a library, and a school down the street. So we'll make it convenient for you to get to all the places you need to go, get your kids to school, get them over here to the post office or wherever else you need to go. It's safe, there's no more danger here, and we'll make it very convenient for you. So having said that, we're going to take a very limited amount of questions, and you can direct them to who you want to answer the question.
Sure, did this individual make any statements as he was being detained?
No statement right now as far as his involvement in the incident, and there's further investigation to be completed.
What was his demeanor like?
I'm not sure if maybe the Secret Service gentleman answered. I misunderstood, or I couldn't quite understand. So there was a rifle, so one of your agents saw on the golf course, saw a rifle pointing to a fence. Was it a chain link? Okay, so he saw that, the agent?
That is correct, yes.
And the president or former president was on the course behind him. How close?
It was 1 or 2 holes behind. That because the bubble moves through the golf course, so our agents will get there first, clear it. He noticed that the rifle was pointed out. Our agents engaged. We are not sure right now if the individual was able to take a shot at our agents, but for sure our agents were able to engage with the suspect. I don't know that.
Doug Pearson.
Is there a moment?
Yep. Al.
How far away was the president? How far away was Donald Trump when this gentleman was caught and stopped?
Probably between 300 and 500 yards, but with a rifle and a scope like that, that's not a long distance.
For the Secret Service, how far was your agent from the would-be assailant?
That I'm not sure right now. We're still looking into it.
Reports of the 4 rounds of ammunition were fired. Were all 4 of those from your agent?
That is correct. 4 to 6. We're not sure yet.
Was there a long distance? Explaining why?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering what how this was able to happen, and for future reference, is there any up security in the golf course?
I didn't hear all that. Good. Say that one more time and talk up a little bit.
So how was this able to happen, and for future reference, is there any up security in the golf course?
Well, you got to understand the golf course is surrounded by shrubbery. So when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight. All right? And at this level that he is at right now, he's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. But because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little bit more people around the perimeter. But the Secret Service did exactly what they should have done. They provided exactly what the protection should have been, and their agent did a fantastic job.
Which direction was the shrubbery? Where he was? North, south? I guess east, west, and south is the road?
The layout of the golf course, you've got 3 holes, 5, 6, and 7. All right? One of them runs parallel to Summit Boulevard. One of them runs parallel to Congress. And he was in an area in the shrubbery where he could see both holes. So the president was another hole back, which means he's about between 400 and 500 yards away.
So he was on the golf course?
Oh, he's on the golf course, yeah, but he's back a ways.
For the Secret Service, have you guys changed at all the way that you guys are protecting former President Donald Trump? This is now a potential second attempt on him. Can you just elaborate on how things have changed and what you make of all this?
Yes, the threat level is high. We have increased the amount of assets that we've supported. So we live in danger times. So
Shout out to the lowly one. He said there's only one problem with that. He's running for president. Exactly. Yo, shout out to Dado. He said, LOL, nah, fight a demon alone. I'm a little back in the stream. Appreciate you. Give me 1 second, you guys. Let's see. Shout out to D. Anthony. He said, Bino's up. Keep speaking the truth to power, bro. Appreciate you. Shout out to Jamal. Appreciate you.
We're done with questions right now. There's really nothing more for us to add. I just want to tell you, the Secret Service and the FBI and the State Attorney's Office have been fantastic to work with. And I can tell you right now, our agency with this real-time crime center was fabulous. That's how we got the guy. We started out with, we don't know anything, to where we had a tag, we had a vehicle description, and we got an area where we saw the person. So be proud of your law enforcement. All right, thanks folks, we'll get back to you.
Now, Gina said, how do you know Trump is golfing? That is a very good question. That's a very good question. So here's my thing. I got a couple of questions I want to ask you guys, right? Couple questions I want to ask you guys, and when I ask you guys these questions, I'm not going to give you my answers or my thoughts on what I think is going on, because that'll be speculatory and I don't feel like speculating. I'll pretty much let you guys make your own assessment. Shout out to James. He said President Trump posted 0-2 on Truth Social. Gangster. So, there's a couple of questions that we got to ask, right? First question is, do you think the people that hate Trump, whoever they may be, do you think they hate him any more now than they did in 2020 or 2016? The people that hate Trump right now, whoever they may be, do you think they hate him more now than they did back then? You said way more. Okay. Well, then that might explain it. Because what I'm trying to figure out is, why wasn't this going on during the 2020 election? You get what I'm saying? Why wasn't people, and of course, we don't want no presidential candidate. I don't care who they are. We don't want nobody gunning for them, but why all of a sudden now? That's one thing that kind of bothers me. You feel what I'm saying? The other thing, the biggest thing that bothers me about this is how lightly it's being taken. Like, in my opinion, this is something that is it's being taken lightly. Like, this is the second attempt in the same election cycle. This is the second attempt in the same election cycle. And it's like nobody cares. Like it's like nobody cares. Matter of fact, let me look at the thing again. Let me look at the thing again. Let's see. Let's see who's talking about it. Like it's getting to the point, and this is the really disturbing thing about it. It's getting to the point where like going to the mainstream media to try to figure out what's going on with this stuff, it's almost pointless to do so. It's almost like you got to go to Twitter, you got to go to X, you got to go to certain places in order to figure out what's really going on. Let's go over to X real quick. Let's see. Breaking. Meta has already scrubbed the Facebook page of the would-be shooter. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. So the internet apparently has already found out who the guy is. They go over to Facebook and try to pull up his page, and then boom, page don't want to come up. Let's see. It says second Trump, you know what? Second attempt, second suspect, Ryan, was connected to Representative Adam Kinzinger through his support of Ukraine. He's being interviewed by Newsweek about the effort to recruit mercenaries. What? This is crazy. This is crazy, bro. This is beyond crazy, fam. By the way, some of the stuff that's on X, like whenever I come across it, I repost it. So if you guys want to see the stuff that I'm talking about, because I could show you, I could just show it to you right here. But nah, doing that, y'all ain't gonna follow my X page. Follow my X page if y'all want to see. Follow my X page if y'all want to see. But I will show you this. Donald Trump posted this.
I've been doing it for a long time.
Tell him about the gun line, boss.
That boy is good.
Yo, we will never in our lifetime ever have another president or presidential candidate like this. It's never going to happen again, bruh. It's never going to happen again, bruh. Ever. Titan said it's because of J6. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. What do you mean it's because of J6? I don't even know what that means. I have absolutely no idea what that means. This is crazy. So it's all over X. Like they're posting mad posts on X. It's all over X. But the one thing that I gotta talk about, we gotta point this out, right? At the very least, we gotta stop pretending what's the best way for me to say this? Regardless of what anybody thinks about anything, right? Is it possible that the way they keep demonizing Trump in the media, the way they keep talking about him in the media, saying that he's a dictator, saying that he's a threat to democracy, saying that he's going to put people back in slavery, saying that he's going to do all of these horrific things that he never did in his first presidential term, right? Is it possible? In fact, we don't even have to say this is possible. We know it is. This is dangerous rhetoric. And I believe that if the shoe were on the other foot, it wouldn't be taken this lightly. It would not be taken this lightly. If the shoe was on the other foot, we would not be taking this lightly. They would be dissecting every single thing that people are saying on the right about Kamala or Joe Biden or whatever. If there were ever a situation where Joe Biden was in danger, Kamala was in danger, they would be dissecting every single thing that Trump has said out of his mouth. But anyway, that's all I had to say, man. Shout out to everybody that came through. I really appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. Shout out to Is What It Is. Appreciate you. I appreciate everybody coming through, showing love. As always, it's been a great show. Make sure you guys, if you're watching me on X, make sure you guys go follow me on X, because I'll be posting stuff over there like crazy. Because you can actually post some stuff over there and not have to worry about it being taken down and all of that crap. So definitely follow me on X. You feel me? Definitely follow me on X at Angryman channel. You feel me? Make sure you guys go check out the book. All you have to do is go to Amazon.com. Type The Angryman Standard in the search bar and it will come up. Or you can hit the link down in the description. But other than that, man, I appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. Salute to everybody that contributed. Salute to all the sponsors. Salute to everybody that got memberships and everybody that hit the like button. But more importantly, salute to the whole BINO Nation. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.
profession.